Alright, I need to go talk to the manager of the cafeteria, so we'll go hit him up. Oh, I should probably put this crowbar away so people aren't just like, what the fuck, bro? I guess I'll try wake this guy up. Oh no, he's not sleeping anymore. Probably too early in the day.
Can I help you?
Is a trash container out back yours? Mine? No, it belongs to the Whirling in Rags. Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep the container locked? Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out, that's why. And the neighbors too. They put their trash in there and they don't pay for the garbage company. I thought as much. And are you the only party with access to the trash container? Well, yes, us and the garbage disposal company. Seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you. Wonder what this feeling is. Prodded him and find out. Doesn't it seem callous to you guarding even your leftovers from the poor? Callous? What are you, Krasmasov? Almost all establishments in Revachol keep their trash locked. Whirling Rags is not special in that regard. Krasmasov was an economist and a historical materialist. He was a leading figure on the Grad side of the Centennial Revolution, where he headed the 9-day government. Mazov is considered the father of scientific Mazovian thought or Mazovonian. Yum yum, tell me more. He killed himself. Maybe I am Krasnov. What are we talking about? Was this not about the trash container? No, wait. What if I am Krasnov? You should return to the case of your mistaken identity at a later time. This was about the trash container. We need those keys. What for, Masov? Are you planning to nationalize my trash container? It concerns the case. The lieutenant's voice is harsh and sudden. Please cooperate. He takes the keys from under the counter and hands them to you. Just bring them back once you're done, please. Alright. So I've got the keys. So we'll go back. We'll have a look what's in here. The padlock with the key. With a well-oiled crack, the lock pops open. It should now be possible to simply raise the lid. Don't. Maybe you shouldn't. Didn't I just have a premonition that there's something in there? There is, but you won't like it. Sweat forms on your brow. Your hand is still on the lid. Open the lid. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You will see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste. But just in time, the lieutenant peers in. This hasn't been emptied for over a week. Look under the boxes of carton. You see milk, an egg rest with one broken egg in it, some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy package somehow feels familiar. You've done this before. The movements are recorded in your elbows, the methodology in your fingers. You're used to this. Used to what? Dumpster diving? No, searching for evidence in the trash. Dive further. A box falls into pieces in your hand. Batiste Solial Cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below and turbo noodles. Nothing of note forever. However, you get the rags. Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers. Grab them. As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air. Are these the victim's clothes? The smell is not nearly as bad as the cadaver. These clothes could not have been in contact with the deceased for more than 2 days after his death. The lieutenant smells them. Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay. The lieutenant produces a black plastic bag marked evidence from his pocket. Drop them in here, officer. By early stages, you mean these were taken from him no more than 2 days after his death? Yes, he nods. If we're still assuming the clothes were taken off to get to the armor, they must have stripped him up at fast, the scavengers, in a matter of days. Bag the trousers. Kim quickly searches the jeans. Guitar marked blue jeans, pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt too, a wide belt. The loops appear stretched, but looks into the container. The belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here. Something slimy catches your eye. Reach for it. A drab long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus. Bag the shirt. This is a military type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit short that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario. He nods to himself. Anything more? The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow old mug that catches your eye, but other than that, a thrown out towel, a mug, that's all. Alright. We should go to Cart again and ask if you know who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard, or that one. He nods towards the red head boy behind him, and advised against confronting that force. You think someone from the whaling might have been involved, maybe? Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked, and this establishment had the key. It's just a small, loose thread. Yeah, we need to ask the kids who put them there. Fuck's he on about, kids? The one behind the fence yells. You hear that, Kuno? He thinks you're an infant or something. See? Okay. I'm getting that mug. We got a broken mug with an oddly racist depiction of the yellow man frolicking in saffron. An antique? Only in its social sensibility. The man briefly glances at the mug, then returns his sight to the trash. Search the food waste. It's just organic waste, cold and slimy in your hands. Apple and potato peel mostly, unidentified sludge, and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey, nothing. It's nothing. Nothing more to see here. What's this? What? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something. Pick it out. Damned ledger. Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes written in a man's handwriting. Officer, is that your paperwork? No, it can't be. Yes, it is. Look, he points to it. This plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form. A miserable looking slip of paper sticks to the board. If you don't mind my asking, how could you have let your paperwork end up in the trash? I think I didn't want to be a cop anymore. That's why I tried to flush my cop life down the toilet. Well, he doesn't know what to say. His eyes express a rare condolence. Then he picks it up. Lucky we found it. You should take stock of what remains, just to be sure some has not made it into the hands of the RCM's adversaries, organized crime and the like. There might have been police secrets in your notes. Okay, I'll do that. Read your ledger and name the case. It would also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. He peers into the trash where soggy cartons and rags stink uninvitingly. Now tell me what your eagle eyes see. Or are we finished? Some items such as the ledger you found are interactable. Go to your inventory and find the interact tab to read your paperwork. The container sounds a muffled gong. That's one thing off the list. The lieutenant sounds relieved. I think we got it all. Alright. This broken-eared mug somehow made its way into the whirling and rags dumpster. It depicts a person of Sumerian descent frolicking in a field of saffron flowers, buck-toothed and grinning feeble-mindedly. It seems to be a cheap knockoff of some colonial area antique. This is the ledger you found in the trash. It's full of notes written in a man's dense cursive. Have a closer look. Maybe it can be salvaged to start keeping notes on the case. It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner. Fuck. I love the descriptions in this. It's fucking hilarious. Anything else? There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper, desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard. It's a metaphor for you. Below the pathetics, terror. Do not look into its blue heart. Spat the toilet paper. It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want. Leave it there, it's cool. I'll take it off. Still wet. The toilet paper peels off the plastic easy. All you have to do is shake it off your finger and voila, the ledger now looks marginally better. If your guys knows that exact smell, yeah, I know what you mean. Inspect the clip. An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip. Run my fingers across the aluminium. The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before. Looks like an official mark made to be low visibility outside the right circumstances. Lieutenant, is this one of the hologram watermarks you mentioned? What? He's lost in his own notes. It takes a moment for him to see it. Yes, a halogen watermark used for adding information to RCM property. Interesting. What kind of information? It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue. How many years have you been on the force, he's thinking. It'll have that. How can I read it? Any capable light with the right wavelength will do. Like, for example, all RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal halogen marks. Mine too. This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on. Cool. That's all. Thank you. Conclude. Okay, he returns to his neatly kept notes. While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, it's a sorry sight. Browse the white papers. They're not exactly white. When is this set? It's set in a kind of like, I guess, 50s, but an alternate reality. Kind of like a dystopian 50s. So it has some similarities to our world, but also like none of the countries are the same. Lots of stuff is very different. They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered with faint red lines forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files, commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible. What's in there? What are they about? Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are the handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51 this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention, but there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases. Undertaken, not completed, mind you. It's the middle of March. You've attempted 2 cases a week on average. What do you mean? Is that all? That's it? The notebook is annual. It says 51 or whatever remains of its cover, a molten strap of cardboard. Everything prior to this must have belonged to a previous volume. In short, there was more. Is 2 cases a week a good caseload, Lieutenant? Huh? He raises his nose from his notes. 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yet you really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes. 2 cases a week appears to have been my load, Lieutenant. I'm not sure I completed them, though. 2? He raises his eyebrows. That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you're making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me. I'm sure I made plenty of mistakes. That's okay, he nods and turns back to his own case files. We all make mistakes. Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible. There was mention of a naming convention here? Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins, yet still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name. A title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from Snoop fiction and Vespertine's cop show staples. Oh my, and they're written in capital letters too. Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case. More? Others appear more light-hearted. The guy's on a couch in an unexpected location. And the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the rare, article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. It's going to take an effort to piece his case files together, but it can be done later once you're done expecting them up close. Kim, my cases appear to employ some kind of naming convention. You mean the alphanumeric officer precinct time of arrival at the scene? No, I mean a non-numeric one with titles. Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does. Why is that? It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves. I seem to have named a case the Square Bullet Hole Murders. Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one. He peeks into his notes. The man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still I named it that, to amuse myself. I pray his loved one never find out. This guy's great. I love him. What happened to him? Rails back through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident. Count the pages. I have to open an official case. Is there room? There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish. Commit to paper. Sadly, the ledger only comes with an old, worn-down lead pencil. It's unfitting of this monumental event. The ledger only comes... So that's only comes with the old worn down lead pencil. It'll do barely, but... Kim, do you have a pen? The lieutenant looks at his blue notebook. 2 fat, shiny pens hanging from the binder like large caliber bullets on an ammo belt. He's not really saying anything, just standing there looking at them. Can I have one? Know that, I give this to you. He pulls one from the loop with resentment. He doesn't want me to have his pen. With this beauty, commit to paper. The tasks you've completed flow out of the blue oblong pen in a brash freehand, uncannily similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily, it's almost robotically simple, a language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect victim's body. Get the body down. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place. Press out the ones you've already finished. A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you. And you. You're a swashbuckler with that pen, Harry, and it feels good. Feels like completion. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to name the case. Lieutenant, have you by any chance named our case? No, actually. Any ideas? The hanged man, the furies that are at home in the mirror, the setting sun, shit on a stick. The setting sun. Okay, he nods. It's a good name, but it has one problem. This case has nothing to do with the setting sun at all. It has nothing to do with that. So, something more concrete, perhaps. Do you have something concrete, mundane, usual? Usual is boring. We don't do that. The furies are at home in the mirror. Furies, yes. Well, it's obvious he doesn't like it. I don't know. I have to be honest. I'm not experiencing the internal strife that refers to. And also, he furrows his brow. Could we make it less poetic somehow? Just a normal case name, you know? Think what would be a good normal name. Yes, you know what the normal name is, but it's so plain. Anything else, please? Shit on a stick. Ha, yes. He isn't actually laughing. I have to tell you, officer, I don't appreciate ironic titles. Other officers will have to use this as reference. If it's idiot or cockfinger, they're not going to get it. They're going to think an idiot and a cockfinger are on this case. So do you have something less funny? Hanged man. Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The hanged man. Good, strong name. You have a very good name for the case now. He flips the pages of his notebook. I'm going to start calling it the hanged man. It's good we sorted this out. I'm done inspecting these. Close the case files. You don't exactly close them so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now. Can I read the case files now? Yep. Yes, you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB41, then date of initialization and time of arrival in the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB4 1120-117-00, the next world mural. Wait, HDB41, weren't those officer precinct? Why, yes, your precinct number is 41. And HDB? Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with, and these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials. Harry Dubois, HDB. Still feels like there's something missing from that. Next world mural. This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on the 12th of the 2nd, a mural appears on an 8-story tenement overlooking central Dranmok. The building is a sparsely inhabited ghost tower, part of a failed real estate development called Grand Curon. The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text cut into their forms reads, True love is possible, only in the next world, for new people. It is too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class. People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible for miles. In 2 days, the station's complaint desk gets clogged with requests to remove the bummer you and your partner are assigned to the case. The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the Bellis letters have the litterage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffito artists is meant to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. The ideologue of the next world mural, as the crew calls it, remains an unknown. Wait, do I ever find out who came up with it? Case files do not show you finding the author of the design. Read on. The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner JV is against the removals, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spreads to the streets of Jamrock, ending in a rare plebiscite organized by you and the rest of Row 3. The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villa Lobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rumbling on the street as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between 2 options, keep the mural, it is right. Staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority and that love truly is possible in the next world for new people, and it is too late for us. All that remains is to wreak havoc on the middle class. In any case, it appears to have been a rare case of civil activity in the quarter, an agreement as well. What do you want to tackle next? The unsolvable case. AKA Leslie and Burke, AKA public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk, the cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29th, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it is unclear. Every officer and indeed most civilian in Janrock know it's unsolvable. You were so drunk you didn't remember what it was when you signed down, that or you were high. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man. You can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration. The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypasses and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rearview mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression. Couldn't we just keep them off the streets? You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Petition because that's where the action is. Threatening, fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get a local gang of Zemliakis to take them out. Zemliakis gave them ethanol so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. We tried it all and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street, because there they are, on the corner of Petition. And what is Leslie doing? Public indecency. Good, you're learning. The files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things. The fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger. You must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. The joke's on him. You're drunk out of your mind on a potent pilsner. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face, then you proceed to beat him unconscious with it. In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within reserved for permeable documents is jammed shut. Stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who at this point is tending to Burke. He came at us and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. I'm trying to kill Burko. You slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. Good news is, Burke can't walk anymore. Can't get out of his apartment. An invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke. Who knows? But both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved. Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. You want to read another one? I do. Man, that was great. No one solves this case. It's unsolvable. So I just abuse the guy and put him in, basically hospitalize him. Amazing. I've got another skill. I don't know if I want to use it. Endurance, don't let the blow kill you. I'm on 1 for endurance. I thought I was on 4 at the moment. I kind of want to level that up, but I also want to internalize something new. I'll do endurance. Square bullet hole murders. It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks on a rocking chair with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape. But so you got. In the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped, you never found the bullet, and then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead. Sequence killer? Who knows? These pages are missing. What next? Don't worry. One day. One day you may still get to catch the man with the square gun. A couch in an unexpected location. What a fucking case name. Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it, in the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway. You know, at an unexpected location. They were young and they thought they looked cool on it. They actually looked like assholes. Insufferable dicks. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you gotta complain about the damn sofa or couch, whatever it was. They were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations they took it to, but they also took photos of themselves on it and smoked cigarettes and drank coffee because they felt it's intellectual. Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up, and you did. So congratulations to you. Case solved. Did I ever catch those guys? No, you didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What next? Murder at the hookah parlor. Murder, tam tam tam. At the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who is now dead, of circumstances and completely unconnected to murder at the hookah parlor. Wait, how? Beaten to death by a throng of Villa Lobos gang members when him and his partner JM, only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story and it isn't really represented in your case files. Stop stalling and get to the murder at the hookah parlor. Right, on with the murder. Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve, was doing it solo, said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister, was on it for like a month. The captain got impatient. Shit or get off the pot, Mills. Mills didn't get off the pot, not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory, as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the hookah parlor. Tough case, he said, toughest he's ever had. Wait, was Joseph Mills a good cop? No, he was awful. Awful sense of humor too. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really rapey. Still, he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. The murderer vanished into thin air. That goddamn hookah parlor was all he talked about. Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know those places where you go and smoke bubblegum flavored vapor all day? Really stupid. Yeah. So anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor of the hookah parlor. In the middle of the day, no one else is there, only client that day, in perfect health too, some kind of movie producer. No one enters, no one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular. No calls, nothing. Sucking on the hookah until 15:45. Then bam, he's dead on the floor with the skull busted open, blood everywhere. What happened? How can it be? Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin. Movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Table's low. Heavy. Really sharp edge. He sucked hookah, stood up, passed out, hit his head on the table and died. See, you can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply and you don't notice it until you have to get up to the bathroom. He must have sucked a lot of it. Yeah, he liked his hookah. Stephen was his name. What was he doing there for 6 hours? Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script maybe? Anyway, that was murder at the hookah parlor. Joseph Mills wasn't a good detective and about 30 minutes has passed piecing it together. Next. I can revisit this. Browse the yellow papers. In the back you see thin translucent copy of paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes like marching armies. These look like official forms waiting to be filled out. They are. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out according to type of form. What type of forms are there? 3. The topmost are missed contact fines. The middle ones are station calls and the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of. You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work. A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Several severe cases allow for 1000 real, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the rest of the fields. It's a station call. These are quite sinister in tone. They give a date and a time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station. Below the call are the criminal charges you risk by not appearing. All in a print so small it can be considered downright cute. Field autopsy. Dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs. Enough of these. Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and field autopsies to dead guys. What delicious power hid within this pathetic mess. You feel better. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copy paper. Look at the clipboard. Made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface. On the back you see the embossed letters RCM. What did you say the color was? Blue. Blue heart, don't look into it. Shake the ledger. Something rattles inside ever so slightly. Is there a hidden compartment? Something small inside, light, made of paper or cardboard or dried flowers perhaps? Peek inside. The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not see-through. You cannot see to its sensor. How would I open it? With your hands. U4 sized papers hanging from the clip screwed to the top of the keyboard. Open the thing. The two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off the slides. You bend the plastic on your knees slowly. Slide snaps back into place. It should be possible to just, slide the drawer open. Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open. It's inside. Ticket stubs and a handmade postcard. Pick up the ticket stubs. Two octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles towards each other in the coloured pencil drawings. Tickets permit access to a zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there too. Pick up the card. Thin wax paper is being glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue. Smell it first. Smells of chewing gum, apricot flavored. Touch of cinnamon, the end of summer. You think the label says Tutti Frutti. Open it. Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped round letters in a woman's hand. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think. Although that's not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter, so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you better. Happy. Throw it away, please. But it will make me happy. A merciful wind blows in from the Bay of Revachol, dusting the ground at your feet and raising newspapers far, far away. You feel the card slipping into it. What was that? Vision covers your entire body, a feeling of cold. Persistent child. Hold on to it. Read. Chill. Hold on to it. Read the card. Your hands shake holding on to it. Every morning, when I step out and you're asleep behind me, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step on the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon when I get off the 49 and walk back to you. You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it. Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small, white dots appear. You feel the ledger slip from your hand. No. Hold on. To what? There's nothing. Detective, is everything alright? Fall sideways. Hopefully I can still get the ledger. What the fuck happened?
There is nothing. Again.
Nothing?
Nothing, sad brother. No treachery, just blackout.
Slightly passed out.
Almost nothing. There is the ground below you, that's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering somewhere in the basal ganglia.
Who's that?
That's me. Blue eyes, that's me.
Who was that?
Who is what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on to the great sorrow slipping in the water.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
Here in the paleomammalian cortex, we call it the shadow, because it's always there.
Tell him.
Ah, yes, and in the olfactory system, they call it the apricot chewing gum scented one. It's unhealthy of them to linger on it so, but as they say, what do you do?
Smelled so nice.
It didn't smell nice. It smelled like betrayal.
Was that the X something?
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
No, it was beautiful.
Beautiful. Believe me, stupid ape, its lack of beauty was not the problem.
Where is Voyager Road?
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause.
So my name appears to be Harry.
Your name is fuck all.
It certainly ain't Harry.
And what is it?
Your name is passed out on the ground, dragged around by one of the other evil apes. They're taking you somewhere.
Enough. Just lie there motionless.
You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
What is that?
Yes,
Cold.
they're pouring something on you, something in you, and it's
It's delicious. Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness. Where am I? In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsaraki's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket. The air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel. Cold water runs down your chin. Drink water. The lieutenant is extending a small canister to your mouth. Drink. The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself as it pours down your parched throat. So that whole thing that just happened is because, like, I have no memory of what's going on and I haven't been drinking or drowning my sorrows. And so there's something that's happened with my ex-wife. And anytime I think about it, I just fuck up. So that was like me going down the road of me trying to think about it and uncover more about my past, which caused that whole thing to happen. And for a moment, I thought I'd actually died and I had to restart the game. That's why I was just like, what the fuck? Because that's almost exactly the start of the game as well. The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself as it pours down your parched throat. Pounding in your head recedes, the darkness parts. Drink, he tilts the canisters. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration. You know, I'm actually more of a magnesium-based life form now. That's just a drug addict myth. In reality, you're still comprised of dihydrogen oxide, which you must replenish to go on living. With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it. What happened? I should ask you the same. You were reading your paperwork, then you passed out. I carried you to my kinema to take you to a hospital. Then you came to. How long was I out? 10 minutes maybe. I came in contact with the burnt out ruins of the past, Lieutenant. That does sometimes happen. He hands you the remains of your ledger. Drop this. Are you okay to proceed? Let's solve this case. Good. Continue. The ledger of failure and hatred is a special item that can be used as both an interactable and a tool equipped in your hand for skill bonuses. Find it under the tool section in your inventory. I've got a new one. So White Morning. Little guy gets further and further away. You see yourself from above. You've passed out in the blue tiles of the hostel room 4. Even from this distance, you can see your eyelids flutter at the mention of what? A great white object letting out its sweet smell like a lily of the valley. The little man's forgotten its name, but he still remembers the feeling. And look, he moves. The feeling animates him. He instinctively reaches out for the feeling's best friend. A bottle of Commodore Red. He puts on his disco clothes and gets smaller and smaller. Yeah, I think my next skill point I'm going to unlock, and then I'll do my White Morning thought to internalize it. Blue oblong pen. Blue pen like a large caliber bullet that shoots out ink, once belonging to Lieutenant Kitsaragi. Comes with a side order of resentment. And I've got this. This is the same ledger you found in the trash, only worse somehow. It makes you think about the letter, about the woman's handwriting, about not wanting to get out of bed in the morning. Note, mouse over the items to see the effects. +1 to Inland Empire, +1 to empathy, -2 to authority. Okay, so that's good to have. Hey, psst, look around. Psst. Hey, you. Who? Me? Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again. Again? Yes, you're ready to start building communism again. You built it before. They've built it before. Hasn't really worked out yet, but neither has love. Should we just stop building love too? Love has worked out really well for me. I'm a love winner. Good. We need tender men like you building gargantuan communism. Word on the street is it's going to be 10,000 times larger than any communism previously attempted by human beings. Is that right? How comes there's word on the street? You keep saying things like down with the bourgeois, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pocket, literally murder all human beings regardless of their political beats. That kind of stuff. I haven't said anything like that. Okay, not in so many words, but don't deny it. You're about to rip off that mask of social democracy and reveal the monstrous seven-eyed lamb of global communism that will devour and masticate mankind. Everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire at the big communism builder, or do we get right down to it? Wait, first, what's communism even about? Failure. It's about failure. Failure? Yes, abject failure. Total irreversible defeat on all fronts. Absolutely vanquished, beaten, curb stomped, and pissed on. Till you came along, you will reverse the fortune of the workers of the world. You alone against every living thing, against every human alive. 800 trillion real in the hands of an impossibly well-organized ruling class, towering city blocks of bankmen who have the ears of prime ministers, million-headed armies of nations, and the love of your own mother. You against the atom, the charm, and the spin, where the whole world failed. Matter failed to bend to human will. Human will failed to get out of bed and tie its laces. You alone, single-handedly, will rebuild the dreams of the working class. You are the last communist. Now get to work, Cameron. It's too tiring. I don't have it in me. I'm beat down and broken. Very well. I guess no one will build communism then. Tell the working man it's over, unless anyone has objections. Did someone mention cocaine? Are we doing cocaine? No, I'm sure I heard something about cocainism. Anyone? Anyone else? There's no one? There's one. What should I do? You should build communism precisely because it's impossible. Pull up your sleeves and start building communism? I don't know if I want to. Shut up, I want to lie down and let the water carry me downstream. We're gonna talk to Kuno about the clothes.
Fuck, does Kuno care?
I want to questions. Dead man's clothes were in the trash container. How did they get there?
Yeah, Kuno doesn't know shit about that. That shit's beneath Kuno.
I need to know. It could be a lead in the investigation. Someone may have tampered with the murder scene.
Listen, he stops you. Kuno doesn't care about this small time shit. Just listen. Kuno saw what you did there, dumpster diving, sad shit. Kuno could hook you up with some sweet rags, shit like Kuno's wearing.
Points to his pants.
Your size, good price, 500 real.
You'd have to be blind not to notice the giant white letters fallen running down his trouser leg. Wait, I asked you what happened to his clothes. You must have seen them lying around.
Look, Kuno ain't seen shit lying around except that. There, he points to the cadaver. Now, you want performance gear or not, Grandpa?
The lieutenant remained silent, but his expression couldn't say "I told you so" any louder. All right, entertain me. What's so great about this pants?
Pig, these are fallen modulars, liquid fit, performance cross, urban survival shit. Made in Morova by scientists. Scientists. Believe it, you need this shit.
He unzips his jacket to give you a quick peek at the plastic wrapped pants. They're graphite black and look brand new. These could drastically improve your chances of survival in the urban wilderness. Coach Physical Instrument endorses these pants. They are tartan ready. They will also make you into an idiot. I might be interested in these pants. Let's talk about this later.
All right, Piggo.
His face lights up.
Shit's rolling.
Don't do business with the pig, Kuno.
He's gonna steal all your money, Kuno. As you can see,
Kuno towards the fence.
Kuno and C don't trust you. Can't do business without trust.
There's more to this distrust than being a pig. He feels threatened by something obscure in you. What that, however, remains a puzzle for now. There's also a mug in the trash. The fuck? A mug in the trash? Is this about the fucking clothes again? Yes, does this racing mug have anything to do with it? Yeah, Kuno sees where this is going. Kuno's got that fast brain, he whispers excitedly. You're saying you pigs are after the mug fucker because he's the clothes fucker. Can't hear you, Kuno. Speak louder, Kuno. That's exactly what I'm saying, Kuno. Someone has tampered with the crime scene, cleaned some of it up. Shit, that's tense, he thinks for a moment. Someone going down to the beatdown basement, huh? Mug guy gonna get tied to the radiator. He nods in approval. Kuno doesn't know who put that shit in there. And if he did, he wouldn't squeal. But if you found out, maybe you can. Stop turning into a pig, Kuno. They're trying to get you hooked on the snitching. So lets out a hiss, even meaner than before. Get away from my Kuno. Yeah, Kuno chants back. Get your bacon shit away. Kuno doesn't like to be seen with the popo. Get your shit down and out of Kuno's face. Alright. Put the clothes in the trash. 5 full-on pants. So, I've got to go back to Gart and confront him about the clothes. I'm gonna need some money for tomorrow.
Can I help you?
Here's your trash container key. Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for. Found the victim's clothes. How strange. I certainly didn't put them there. Maybe you don't remember putting them there. Maybe you're sleepwalking or in a fugue state. He grimaces. I think fugue states are more your forte, officer. But someone on your staff have put them there. Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my staff. None of us have tampered with a crime scene. Who else has keys to the trash container? The trash collection service? CS Municipal. I don't see why they would put anything in the trash, though. Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. This will have to be one of those little threads that solves itself down the road. He turns to the man. Thank you anyway. Thanks, let's talk about something else. Goodbye. Put the clothes in the trash. Unauthorized access to the whirling trash. Right. It's 4 o'clock. What else have I got to do? Oh, I can look at the stuff under the headlights of the car. How do I turn on the headlights? Turns the preheater on, waits, takes out his keys and says, alright, ready. I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater. He's downplaying his excitement. The lieutenant is more than happy to show off his precious carriage. Press engine start. The dashboard lights up in orange glow. Rounds per minute gauges jump, and the engine of Capri Kanema comes to life with a whiny growl. Like a leopard waking from its sleep, yawning and roaring at the same time. Press the button labeled headlights. The lights unfold with a little click, casting electrical light on the ground before the vehicle. Vehicle. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now. Read the watermarks, which should be in here, and I want to go tools, rack, case files again. Select clip. I'm in the fucking headlights. Why can't I do it? Acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. Space surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner. You know, like the bits they put into public piss bowls, probably called Fermi Discreet or Axle or something. At some point in its journey, Ledger is sitting inside of a public toilet. I know. Sylvie already told me I dumped it in the toilet. If you knew it was dumped in the toilet before getting chucked in the trash, why are you sniffing it? The option to sniff was there, so they wanted to get in on the trash toilet stink collab, find out what happens when you get those two funky together. Okay, pal. This is just getting weird and hostile. Sorry, Nose. Let's just move on. He knows there's somewhere between grateful and resentful. Okay. Why? Oh, do I need to... As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears. A streak grid in the veins of a great river. A familiar sensation washes over you. There she is, Rebershall West. There's a note of pride in the lieutenant's voice. Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, or hundreds of micro-perforations. Look at the shimmering street grid. The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Rebershall are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Kanima's headlights. Wait, look around you. The rat brazenly darts past you and disappears among the stopped lorries. In the distance, a child somewhere shrieks. A woman reprimands her in a voice no quieter than the child's cry. Ah, Martinez. He smells the air and says, "Where are we on this?" Point to the halogen map. "Let me see." He takes the ledger for a moment and inspects it. "Right here," he says, his finger near the top of the map on a segment of coast jutting out to the Great Ocean. "Seems nice." "No, it does not," the lieutenant says with optimism. "Look at the perforations. There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows. Tally up the different rows. First row has 18 dots. Not bad. Not bad for what? You don't even know what it means yet." True. What about the next one? The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border and then some. Count them individually. There are so many it's hard to count. More than 150 at least, maybe even 200. What about the last row? The last row has 3 perforations. As you look at them, you feel your index finger reflexively contract 3 times. Seems like something I've done before. Something you'll do again before this is all over. Hey Kim, what do all these holes mean? Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They're your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you keep a record. Officers often do. Let's take a look. The first row represents your years of service. 18 years? Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered? Wait, 18 years I've done this? That's what it says. I might have guessed even longer based on your age. What did you do all those blissful years of your youth? You really think I have any idea? Fair point. Let's move on, shall we? This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Closed is good. It means finished. You've got, let's see. Wow, more than 200. Is that a lot? It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers. So you're saying I used to be a super cop? Call it what you want. You're a valuable member of your precinct. Now let's look at the last row. You know the answer already. The tingle on your index finger gave it away. Those are my confirmed kills. 3 of them. That's right, the lieutenant says, gauging your reaction. How did you know? Because I felt a twitch in my index finger. Ah, right. Sometimes the brain's able to preserve certain responses even when conscious memory has been, let's say, misplaced. For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock Quarter, it's rather tame. I mean that in a good way. There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident. It's obvious the lieutenant doesn't think very highly of these officers. But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. We have that to be thankful for. Have you ever killed anyone, Kim? Yes, he says, declining to elaborate. It's not a problem for him to state it, however. How do you handle the strain? Everyone has their own method of coping. Some more effective or self-destructive than others. Gives you a meaningful look. Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies. Like what? Oh, this and that. Let's not get into it now. Maybe I should find a hobby. Why not gardening? You've already got the yellow gloves. It's made in earnest. Please don't mistake it for a jab. Thanks for this. Lieutenant nods. Okay, let's go. Right, I'll go turn off the lights. He presses the remote control on the key. You can now see the statistics on your journal page right of the description. Cool. Superstar cop. Sorry cop. Boring cop. Communist. Fascist. Ultra-liberal. Moralist. Good cop. Bad cop. People killed. Cases solved. Years in service. Ah, that's cool. I'm going to use one of my points to upgrade my log. Internalized white morning. What do we need to do at the moment? How do you free one up? I don't understand. I can't forget them. I don't have enough skill points available. I have to forget one? What else? Reloaded, low down, find smokes and smoke them, pull the willing secret passages, place lost bullet, Joseph's info and lynching, hangman boots, armor piece with some tattoos, put down your badge, who made the call, and karaoke. Okay. I don't think I've really explored this whole area yet. I need to get some more cash.
Right to work! Right to...
Got it. I might have been able to unlock something from him yet already. Who's that old lady? What's down here? I haven't been down here yet. Oh, that's a lorry. I thought that was a bridge for some reason.
Now it's turning into a kind of a snow limbo, man.
No. I've got that postcard I can pawn, so I'll just try selling that shit. I hope you guys are enjoying this, by the way, as much as I am. Definitely enjoying it. I'll talk to this guy.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Someone I'd like to sell. I'll check my pockets.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Ah, okay. I don't think there's anything else for me to do there. Go back into the union, but I don't think... Oh, I've still got to do that door, so I could do that. I've got the key now. I'm pretty sure. Are there any of these that I can actually do? Actually, I might go unlock that door. Oh, who's this? See a sturdy woman humming to herself. She seems to be browsing a book. Is that Lou's City Radio
Yes,
reading?
the sci-fi.
She says without reverting her attention from the book. Who are you?
No one. I'm just a working class woman.
She doesn't really want to be disturbed that much. If she's such a working class woman, why isn't she working? Shouldn't a working class woman be working?
Not all the time. Right now, I'm browsing books. Even a working class woman needs something to read.
Good, good.
It is.
I'm a
I
policeman.
know you are.
Everyone can see that.
Rectangles.
The rectangles.
Do you need the help
What
of a
with?
policeman? He tries hard to focus on the book stand. What with? A lot of things. For example, people tend to go missing. Maybe your husband is missing. A husband? No, he's not. So where could he be? I don't know. At home now? Out drinking with his friends? Working? Where is this going, officer? So what I'm hearing is you don't really know where your husband is. Yes, but she looks around and takes a deep breath, a little annoyed. I don't really need to know where my husband is. Not all the time. Wouldn't you like to? No. She looks straight in the eye. Her right foot is tapping nervously. I can totally help you find your missing husband. Why are we still talking about this? I haven't lost my husband. She has, though. The husband is totally lost. You should tell her that it's okay. It's okay. What? It's alright to not know where your husband is. Nothing shameful in that. Who said anything about shame? Stop talking down to me. She puts her foot down. My husband is not missing. But he is. You can feel it. Or maybe it's something else then. Maybe your children are missing. No, absolutely not. Her words come out quick as a gunshot. Okay, so where are they? Are you a policeman or a nanny? She's definitely disturbed by now. Nanny, where are they? They're not missing, sir. You know where they are. They're at home, smoking, giving the ladder of vices a chance. They're at home, right? Smoking cigarettes. What? It's just my daughters are perfectly fine. They're with their friends down in Jamrock. There's nothing to worry about. They're almost grown up now. Anyway, they're past the age of needing me protecting them from everything now. Maybe you're right. Maybe they aren't missing anything after all. Maybe your cockatoo is missing. I don't mean to disrespect, Saw, but you're being a bit of a cockatoo here. For what it's worth, I agree. But cockatoos can't be stopped when they get like this. It's better to indulge them at this point. Ma'am, I was just asking you about your cockatoo. Is it missing? I don't even have a cockatoo, and guess what? What? Even if I had, it wouldn't be missing. Alright, cockatoo not missing. I just want to be sure. Great. Just one more question. What did you mean by me being a cockatoo? Nothing. Read up on them if you're so interested. There's a great book in the bookstore. Maybe you should. What if the cockatoo is your astral captain or your heraldic bird? Actually, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Thanks for the tip. Wonderful. The store is open. Her hands move over the book covers. The tips of her fingers look rough, stained with yellow. It seems like she has spent a lot of time at work smoking.